All right. Boy, having difficulty getting in there, boys and girls. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Rabun County RAG. RAG is for, uh, it's an old ham radio term. Uh, Boy, having difficulty getting in there, boys and girls.
Right.
Hey there, everybody.
Let's mute
Welcome
that.
to the. Anyway, it's an old ham radio term where guys would get together on their radio at an assigned time on a particular day, and they would talk about whatever they wanted to talk about: hunting, fishing, what's going on in the community, road repair, you name it. So that's kind of the idea I've got right here. Uh, we could talk about, things like hunting, fishing, community things. Yeah, excuse me. My dang. My darn radio went, camera went dead. Here we go again. Uh, I am no expert at this streaming business. So, y'all get to watch me kind of goof it up, and you can laugh at me. You can pick on me. Uh-oh. Just something happened just again. Oh, that is. Yeah, you son of a gun. Generals. That ain't it. Let's see. Get here. Oh, more. Okay. All right. Y'all bear with me. If anybody's out there watching, send me a chat. Let me know you're out there. If you want something, if you have something you like to talk about, just key it in there. Okay. Well, I don't know. Have to keep working on this. If it goes out again, I'll just turn it back on. I'm trying to figure it out myself. Audio. All right. Oh, come on. Sleep time? Oh, it's on. I don't want it on. All right. See if that helps. Turn the audio. Anyway, I went through and oh, excuse me, I know. Went through the Georgia hunting regulations, and it looks like deer season is going on through the 12th. Buck only in my area. Make sure you check the regs for your area. If you're into bobcat and fox, I've seen a couple of those around here. I think there's one of each on the game cam at one time or another. In my area, that runs through the 28th of February. So you still got some time. And grouse, if you're a grouse hunter, that runs through February 28th with a limit of 3. I've seen some grouse up in the hills, but I've not seen any in my local area. I'd sure like to have some. Uh, and quail. No, this is dove. No, quail. Quail runs through the 28th of February too, limit of 12. Same with the rabbit. 12, February 28th. Raccoon and possum, open season. No limit, I got a bunch of them damn Democrats around here. Eat the cat food. Then there's always trapping. For all the fur bearers, bobcat, mink, muskrat, otter, skunk, weasel. 28 February, no limit. And raccoon and possum, open season. But that's what we got in the hunting arena. Uh, to me, it seems like the deer are out of the rut. If you see something different and you're in my area, you let me know. I'm way up in North Georgia. They might still be running some ruts somewhere. Anyway, I've not hunted this year. I keep telling everybody, yeah, man, I used to fish, trout fish, bass fishing, walleye, bird hunt, duck, quail, dove, uh, turkey, uh, deer hunt. But as I got older, I started keying on the trout fishing. And I'll tell you why. In trout fishing, you get to move along. You're always fishing a different portion of a stream. And the scenery is absolutely beautiful. So I concentrate on that now. I've gone as far as building my own rods, spec'd them out, ordered the parts, put the guides on, did the thread work, developed where I wanted the eyes, and I built both spin cast rods and fly rods, and I really enjoy that work. It takes a little planning. If you're not used to it, you got to do the noodling over and over until you get it right. And it's been a while since I built one, so I'd imagine that the noodling and the planning would be would be the work for me again. But there's real satisfaction in completing a rod build, and I've given some away. I've built more, and never wanted to spend the effort to sell them. I think my brother-in-law and nephew, and probably a couple of other folks, and then I've got some in there in the rod rack that I've had for years. I've built for others, and they don't use them. My wife, so I'll use that one. I've got several that I've broken the tips off. That's a funny thing about a graphite, man. You can bend that devil. I mean, I take the straight rod and bend it almost 90 degrees from tip to tip, butt to tip. And it's extremely strong. It's flexible. It's predictable where where to put the guides. It's got the spine that's easily matched up. They're great. But the thing is, they cannot take a end hit. I was in a truck wreck, and my favorite rod, I called it the trout switch, because I could get under rhododendron. I can make some difficult casts with it. And it was, I always fished anywhere from a 2-pound to a 4-pound line weight. And it gave me several different, I could fish bait. I could fish the small repellers. But I could also fly fish with it. And I would use a clear, large strike indicator, and then take that 4-pound test and run it out and put a dry fly on it, and then have a dropper that was a wet fly, that was the wet fly representative of the dry fly, and then I could cast it into a feeding lane. And that was a pretty effective once you match the hatch. I've spent all day digging and looking for what to put on the hook. But the best thing about it is the scenery. So it made it all worthwhile. Anyway, those graphite rods cannot take an end hit. But when I had that truck, it's a super light ray rod, and it slammed forward and just crushed that tip. So, I guess there's good things and bad things about everything. Anyway, let's see what we got. Join the okay. One watching now. Started streaming 11 minutes. Well, hello there, watcher. Give me a comment, and if you got something we want to talk about. I'm looking for how long I've been streaming. Let's see. I don't know what's going to happen. There. Well, it's telling me. All right. Analytics, stream setting. All right. I've been at it for 12 minutes. Let's see. I forgot to get a newspaper today. We could talk about the local news. In my area, here's the interesting thing. In my area, there's a public gun range on the National Forest, and I tried to go out there, and I could not get to it. The road was so damaged. Supposedly, you can sight rifles in at 100 yards out there, but the bad thing about it, can't get to it. Not in my truck. And son-in-law, he went out there, and he said he wasn't going to try. And I was just curious. If I gave money to the federal government for a particular project, like fixing that road going to the shooting range that they have on the public land, would that be considered a deduction on my taxes since I paid for something that the government advertised and they're not taking care of? Huh. Interesting question. If anybody knows, or if anybody wants to talk about that, hit me up in the chat. I'm going to test that chat. Let's see what happens. There it is. The Rabun County RAG. So I want to do this. I've in the area I've lived in ever since I was in high school, 14, 13. I might have talked about this already last week, but they encouraged outdoor activity, had outdoor education. And this is the area that was preferred to come to. And it was rather isolated back then. And so I just continued through the years. I've been a lot of places, and this has always been my favorite. Times of trouble, I could come up here and get with the river and get things right with my soul. So I was pretty much predetermined to one day live here. Now, I move up here, and I still probably have the same fishing schedule I had when I lived down in Atlanta. But I can sure go anytime I want. No problemo. Y'all see my spit cup? Where's my bottle? Oh, it's over there by the TV. I'm going to turn this console on and turn on this motion tracking. and I'm going to walk over here and see if this thing will follow me there and back. And while I go get something. Uh-uh. It ain't following. I ain't got the settings right. I thought it liked me. Ooh. I got my Indian under. I got my Indian underwear on today. Yeah, it's creeping up on me. All right. Man, I wish I had the local news. I mean, see who got arrested, say who got drunk and dancing naked somewhere, somebody from another county couldn't get in trouble in their county anymore. Been in too much. So they come over to our county and misbehave. If they get in trouble, they put them in jail for 4 or 5 days, and it's cold as hell. They get 2 meals in a square, a cot. Hey, brother, if I was homeless, shoot. I was talking to my wife. I've slept in a lot of weird places. It was all my fault. I was a victim of my own circumstances. But I guess I'm about growed out of that now. Anyway, well, I can get to mandolin. Yeah. Y'all like mandolin music? I see if. People ask me if I play the mandolin, I just tell them I practice. That's anyway. About that, not that one. I got another one up there on the wall. Old Fender. I imagine I've had it a good 10 years. Off and on, off and on. I was one of those guys on the road all the time, going from to job site, or sometimes I'd be stationed on a big project. And I just had to do something with myself in the evenings. I find that's important that we keep learning something, keep learning a hobby, rod building, tying flies, uh, learning about fish and their habitat and how to develop the technique by recognizing what their habits are and keying in on them and offering. It's a funny thing about trout and people. They always go after what they think they want. That's how I catch most of mine. They think they're going after some food, but ain't nothing but a hook and some feathers and fur. But I bet if you're in the string, You're swimming all day and trying to find a place where you don't have to burn too much calorie. And a big fat looking bug comes floating down your lane. Yeah, I'd take a chance. It'd be like me sitting here and a darn big old hot dog hanging in the air. I'm going, especially if I ain't eating. Especially if it's a red hot. If it's a red hot dog, I'm getting on that thing. Might let one of them Gwaltneys float on by, if I pick up a cent on it. I still haven't advertised this. I'm on a little Facebook thing here in the community, and I don't want to go on there, and I don't know if I want to go on there and do a live stream. Hell, I'm still new around here. I'm a stranger. I've been here 7, 8 years. Shit. Right? Who is that guy? What's he? My old boy been here since 75. He's still a stranger. They don't ask him to know barbecue either. It's tough. That's all right. I love them anyway. Rabun County RAG. Yeah, I was a truck. I got out of school and went into sales, insurance sales, went into all kinds of stuff. And then a few years rocked on. And somehow I was looking for a thing. And I was always told the woman I was married to at the time, if I ever got tired of it, I was going to go get a job as a truck driver, and I was going to see the country. And I had an old shack up in Cedartown, Georgia. And she says, you remember you talking about all that truck? And I say, yeah. She goes, well, you can get truck driving lessons at Carroll Technical School. And it was just down the road. And that's what I did. And then I went on the road and got my training out of the way. And she went on the road. She took a class behind me. And she went on the road and got her training out of the way. And then we spent a year or so on the road, seeing the country. And hell, man, I thought it'd be fun to get my truck driving license in Australia and go down there and drive across the outback and hauling whatever they needed to haul. And had a good sum of money to make that happen. And then in Oxnard, and I know for a fact it was Oxnard because it was logged, is off-duty time. My wife conceived. So she came home. I kept driving. My last day on the road was the day that my son was born. And I'd made that determination that I was not going to be one of those away fathers. Now, afterwards, I worked a lot to provide for the things that they had. But that's how. And then when I came off the road, I worked as a dispatcher. Did that for a while, and bounced around some more, and then ended up with a job with a pretty good contractor, trucking contractor, and ended up being a terminal manager. And then once again, changed career, probably in my, I want to say it was probably late 30s. Went to work for a demolition company. They were looking for somebody to dispatch their roll-off trucks. And I did. And worked with them, got it going real good. And he had a project in Pensacola, Florida, at the Naval Air Station, and he was trying to hire somebody. And I walked in his office, and I said, "Look," I said, "I'm pretty good at logistics, and it's men and material together to accomplish a mission." And I told him if he wanted to give me a shot, I'd go down and run that project. So I've been in the demolition business since then, ever since. God dang. When was the Atlanta Olympics? 96? Damn, almost 30 years. Became a safety guy, out there working and gotten big contractors, and always on me about our performance, safety-wise. And I said to myself, I'm going to get trained. I'm not going to let these guys beat me up. I'm going to be as good at my business as they are at theirs. And so I ended up being a safety guy, an OSHA outreach trainer. And spent my time, and I had a lot of opportunities where I could just stay in the office and be one of those desk jockey. But after being a truck driver and all that stuff, and the opportunity to meet more people and have more relationships that built a lot of stuff, came more in the field. The guys in the office, they get wrapped up in their own world and forget that their world is contingent on the performance in the field. Anyway, that's how that ended up. And I've enjoyed every bit of it. And I retired semi-retired a couple of years ago. I get called in by some people to go oversee some stuff, be a safety guy. And I enjoy that. I get to get out there with the guys and work with them, do some training, build a good team, watch them grow and be successful. It's really the thing I like to do. And that's how it shook out. And now I'm up here in the Northeast Georgia mountains. I have a couple other channels. Middle Class Bubba, and that's I do a weekly video toolbox safety topic. And the reason I do that is because a lot of people, for fear or whatever, have a difficult time standing up in front of men they work with. They ride with them to work. They have lunch with them, but they have difficulty standing up in front of them and discussing an item, whether it be the pre-task plan or safety or anything like that. They direct them in the field, but they're afraid of. So the thing is, I do these safety topics, and they could open up a laptop, have the guys watch them on the phone on the YouTube channel, and then have a sign-in sheet, and they can sign off that they watched this video on the YouTube and use me as a reference that, yeah, I made it, and it's good information. And sometimes, I thought I heard something. And sometimes it's just that the supervisor may watch the videos and gain some idea on the knowledge for what the video's on. And I normally include the script in the description so they can print that out and use it and do their own safety topic. And I don't care if they copy me word for word, as long as they're out there and working with the guys and showing them how to do their job in a safe, timely, and efficient manner. Anyway, let's see. We are 31 minutes into this. My grandson upstairs a while ago was telling me that pre-K jokes. What do cows do for entertainment? They go to the movie. And how do you open a banana? With the monkey. Endless source of entertainment and aggravation from time to time. Wouldn't trade him. I don't know what. I better be quiet. His mama might hear that. I wouldn't trade him for a good time because I don't think there's a better time to be had. Anyway, how's the country? Everybody satisfied with the election? I know. Excuse me. I know there's varying opinions on everything. Do we feel like we're going to be a stronger, more cohesive people instead of dividing ourselves based on religion, ethnics, color, creed? If we view ourselves as all the things we have in common, our desires, our hopes, dreams. I think most people want time with their family, comfortable house. Everybody like to have a boat. Hell, I've had a couple of them, and I was ready to get rid of them. All it was is yard junk. All right. Anybody listen? Like I said, I haven't advertised this. I figure it's better to develop content and goof it up before I gain anybody who wants to come see. I think I can screw it up pretty good and then come through the other side with some confidence and some competency. Anyway, spring is not far away. Now, where I live at, they have some year-round trout streams, and them fish that get left over from didn't get caught, they getting smarter and smarter and bigger. And if you're a good angler, you can get out there and catch some pretty good fish and be amazed at the water you caught them in. I've seen an 18-inch darn trout hide behind a rock as big as my two fists, staying out of the current, cover, and just watching down. It's interesting to watch those fish. They'll find a hydraulic, a backflow, and they'll sit there and look upstream. And let me turn that tracking off. Standard. And they'll sit there and hide into that water break, that structure, and just wiggle back and forth looking upstream, just doing this. Just the rock is right here, and and they'll see something, and they'll dart and get it and back, and the fish will fight for that holding. The bigger ones got the best feeding lanes. The smaller ones, they're all in a pecking order, except for them darn old creek chubs. I've caught some world record creek chubs out of the river. One of them, I said, I wonder what that thing tastes like. It was big. It's bigger than the trout I caught all dog. It was quite a sight. Anyway, we live, these mountains up here in Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee. We got a lot of wild and wonderful left up here. I try not to talk about it too much. It's, I lived in West Douglas County for 25 years. And when I first moved out there, brother, there's barely any street lights. There's barely electricity. And I used to brag about how quiet it was. I had a little Dog River out there and Dog River Reservoir. And we'd run around, deer hunt, turkey hunt, fish, striper fishing in that Chattahoochee River, south of Atlanta. Boy, there's some monsters in there. And I bragged about it. And before I knew it, man, they started putting in sidewalks, building a mall in town. People coming from all over to go to that. It was the strangest thing. Culture is strange. They used to have a couple mall, Greenbrier, Shanty Mall, and they all just went to pot. And that culture just followed it along. Went to the one in Douglasville, and now I hear it's in decline. I guess. I don't know how to define it. I didn't like it. I have to go to Atlanta from time to time, and I get aggravated real fast. Where all these people come from? Where are they going? Man, where I'm at, I get 3 or 4 cars at a red light in the center of town, and I'm complaining about traffic then. I'm trying to get a haircut. See, it's a Thursday. I think it's the 8th. It's the 9th. It's Thursday tonight. Got a huge snowstorm blowing toward us, coming out of Texas. A big cold wedge coming from the north. Gulf warm waters coming from the south. They're merging together, creating this huge storm front. Wait and see. About the only thing I'm thinking about doing is taking my truck and parking at the top of the hill in case I need to get out of here. I doubt it. I just cover up. I got some more. I think this live stream is pretty good. I can put some websites up here and information and share it with you. But them darn videos, buddy, you got to record them, edit them, put in intros, put in examples, and then you got to render them and post them. 5-minute video. If you're out of practice like I was today, it could take you 5 or 6 hours. And I had to do I got a different computer, and I had to set it up to do this stuff. And so I had to reconfigure and, get it all set up, get this see Rabun County RAG, you see that up there? So I was late getting this stream going. Excuse me. I had hot dog for dinner. No bread. Trying to stay off it. I got one of them sensor deals that you put in your arm, and your phone can tell you what your blood sugar is right then. And man, I can eat a piece of white bread, and that old blood sugar will just go to the moon. So I try not to eat that. Now, last night, my wife, might have been the night before, made some of these things is called snowballs. You make a batter out of some pecans and flour and a ton of butter and bake them and roll them in powdered sugar. Good Lord. Man, I can be laying in the bed 2 o'clock in the morning and smell them things. I did experience some weakness on those. And I watched my blood sugar be high all day. Even after exercise, it's just that way. All right. I don't see anybody out there. They say there's one watching. It might be me monitoring the stream health. Yeah. What? That's all right. It's fun. I can sit here and listen to myself rant and rave, and eventually somebody will get on here and laugh with me at me. I learned a long time I'm going to laugh at myself because I do the damnedest thing. I kind of like what Mark Twain said one time. He said, I might be a fool, but I'm God's fool. And I in my mind's eye, I could see God and Jesus sitting up there on their thrones and looking down on them. And of course, Jesus is bumping the Lord and saying, pointing down, and they giggling at me, trying to me through. I don't care. My brother-in-law said, and I kind of agree with him, that God didn't create us to be beasts of burden. We're supposed to do things right. Now, we got some laws. We got some guidelines to go by. I know that the Bible was written by men, and they probably had some selfish ideas by including but the fact remains, Jesus Christ he lived and he died. And he did it in a noble way. And if there was any way I had to do, I want to do it like that. And suffer the consequence. Lord, give me strength if that day ever comes. I have to suffer my consequence. People talk about karma. And I believe in karma. Not necessarily the deity, but the idea. If you bumble through life thinking of self first and taking advantage of someone for silver or gold, that lifestyle will lead you to some consequences that some people might say karmic. I've seen it. And people say, well, karma's for bad. I don't think so. Karma gives back what you put in. Of course, the answer still remains. I'm a blessed man. I don't know how much better I could be blessed. I could probably use a little more money, so I could fish more and uh, pay somebody to do house repairs instead of me trying to do it. But I get to learn and do. That's what it's all about. All right. Ah, dang. It's well, I'm gonna go a full hour. I'm going. It shows right now I got 15 minutes left in this stream. I got a late start fooling with the technical stuff, and if you're out there listening, um, and I need to make adjustments in the color or the volume, the sound, if I'm muted, if I don't send me a note, help me out. I'd love to have these kind of conversations. I know everybody's got some funny stuff, uh, fishing stories, hunting stories, and community concerns. And I'd like to see this channel be that place, like the old radio station. Now, I can't play no music. I think I can play, I think I have that, what's that epidemic sound? But it's all junky. I'm fixing to, they ain't changed. I've been using that for 5 years, and I don't think they've added any kind of new music. Now, I'm a jam band, funk, rock and roll kind of guy. I'm a big fan of the Grateful Dead. I'm also a big fan of Willie, Waylon, Johnny Cash, Johnny Paycheck. Um, so I even like, what's that old boy's name? Layla. Bell Bottom Blues. Eric Clapton. I like Eric. That boy can lick a guitar. Play that old bluesy stuff. No Jimmy. No Stevie Ray. Man, them cats was hot. It'd be nice if people could get together in a carnival environment. You know, in Atlanta, they used to have the old Peach Festival in Piedmont Park, and there would be bands there, and boys and girls, men and women, get out there and celebrate life, listen to music, dance, have a good time, form a relationship. Some of them got married and had kids. Some of them got divorced and had kids. But those are good times, and it's like a bluegrass festival. They've got some bluegrass festivals in the Appalachia up here from Georgia all clean into Virginia, all across it. And boy, some people get out there, and the only time they play, other than their little groups, is when they go to those festivals. And they'll be jamming in the parking lot at pickup jam. And it's just all around good time. I think we should do more of that, be face to face. Everybody's in their phone now. Yeah, okay. Now, I'm in the phone a lot too. But I'm normally trying to learn something, especially this OBS and this live streaming stuff and all that. I've really had my nose in the phone trying to figure out how to broadcast this message. So, but there's an old boy on there. They're from Mexico, and they cook. Their cooking show is rustic Mexican, and they cook over an open fire. They took an old harrow disc and welded up the center of it and handles on it and prop it up on 3 rocks and build a fire and make all kinds of stuff. It's all in Spanish. I don't know if I'm learning any Spanish or not. I'm working on it. I got a lot of Hispanic friends. And they know they like when they get together and cook, it's fellowship. It's a good time. They laughing and joking, drink a few cervezas, and now there's always one or two that drink too much, but it's fun. Remind me one time. See how much time I got. I had 10 minutes. I was in the demolition business for quite a number of years, probably 30 years now. And one time in a town called Tucker, Georgia, we had to demo this high school. They went through where it was predominantly white, middle class, and their sports curriculum included archery, volleyball, golf, and a couple other things, croquet. And they had all this equipment in this room that hadn't been used in years because the culture had changed and that they were developing their football program and all the other stuff was kind of fading away. And so this thing was loaded down with golf clubs and them old little wiffle balls. They golf balls got plastic and they got holes all, and you can practice and they'll slice. They won't go very far. They'll drive straight if you hit it right, or they'll hook. And I kept that box of balls in about 20 clubs in the back of my Oldsmobile. No, it was a Buick. And I worked with these bunch of guys, and they all lived in this trailer park. And the trailer park had a field in the middle of it where the kids would play football or soccer, run around, the little kids. And I don't know if it had a swing or not. I don't know. But we was all standing around drinking beer and just chit-chatting and having a good time being with one another. And there was a lull in the activity. And I recalled those clubs and those wiffle balls in the trunk of that Buick. So I went over there, opened it up, and grabbed me a big old handful of them, throwed them out there, and grabbed the club and started whacking them wiffle balls out into that field. And 4 or 5 of them other boys grabbed the club, and I was giving them some lessons, stance and swing and all that stuff. And I don't want this to sound cruel, but there was this young man, and he had some disabilities, but he was a happy fella. Some people would say he was the village idiot, but he was happy, and everybody in that community took care of him, made sure he had what he needed, helped his mom and dad make sure that they have the adequate things to help take care. And they all loved him, and he loved all of them. But he decided he was going from one trailer to another trailer across that lot. And he got about halfway through, and one of them old boys decided to take a shot at him with that, trying to get him with that wiffle ball. And before he could make it halfway through that thing, he was being peppered with them wiffle balls. I don't care who you are. That was funny. And then he came over and he started visiting with us, and then he swung the club a few times, and when I left there, that whole field was littered with them old wiffle balls. I still work with them guys. Some of them now are, I would call them expert machine operators in the demolition field. And I've worked with them recently. And it's proud to remember those young men, because now I was in my 30s, mid 30s, and these were all 20-something-year-olds. And some of them went bad, some of them went home, and some of them stayed and became proficient at what they do. And they're in demand. People hire them all the time. And I think a lot of times that's why I get called in, because they run across certain things and they know that we've worked well together in the past, and we can work well together now. And just recently, some of those senior guys had some underlings under them. These guys were in track to learn, and these were second generation dudes. So, I know there's some legal stuff and this illegal whatever. And I rationalize it kind of like this, that yes, they're lawbreakers. But what did they break the law for? What would I do? What river would I not swim across? What mountains would I not cross? What oceans would I not cross to get to the American dream? Not the shores of America, but the American dream. Anyway, I got about 3 minutes. I don't guess anybody wanted to join, but I got another hour under the belt. And I know this is at least 2 hours on this channel. And like I said, every Thursday from 6 o'clock in the evening till 7 o'clock in the evening that I'll be doing this. So if you're scrolling through this and you see it, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me you like it. And when you click on that subscribe, you'll get notifications about the upcoming live stream that we'll do. And if you live in the community or in the area and want to talk about fishing, hunting, rules and regulations, ideas on how to approach your prey or track it or whatever, then this might be a place that we can talk about and share with each other. Of course, there's other stuff too. Let me see. I don't know if this is matching up. I go to advanced property. I need to put this at 300. I bet my mouth is off. I look like one of them movies that's got a translation in it. Hey, man. They're talking Spanish, and then a 3-second delay, and then the English translation, and before you know it, they're talking all over French. That one gets me, and the German. Anyway, that's it, boys and girls. We got, anyway, thanks for, when you watch this, if you're scrolling through and you find it, thanks for looking at it if you don't watch the whole thing. If you see something, send me a chat and tell me how good it looks or how bad it looks or what I need to change. Or like I said last time, I need somebody who knows everything to tell me what they're doing, what I'm doing. I'm going to use it. All right. Love you guys. Have a good one. Have a grateful day. There you go. How do you end this now? End string. Toodaloo. Toodaloo. There we go. shut her all down.